Welcome to the Green Building Show, where we investigate green design and building trends throughout Australia.
Hello again and welcome to the Green Building Show for 2014. Last week we kicked off the special series on trends for 2014. We started last week's with colour, and it's worth checking back on that series because when it comes to renovation and design, there's a lot of factors to consider when it comes to choosing the right colour scheme. This week, Peter Newbold takes trends into the bathroom with Darren Jenner of Minosa Designs. Here's Peter and Darren now with more on trends in bathrooms for 2014.
Thanks, Nick. And I'm with Darren Jenner from Minosa Designs. He's an award-winning bathroom designer and the man to answer all these questions about the design trends of 2014. So Darren, what's it looking like?
I think there's a real movement in design where people are really starting to fall in love with bathrooms and what they can offer. So whether it's a style or an openness or something that's slicker, I think there's a real movement towards things getting bigger and more open, and there's a certain trend towards the parents' retreat where we're making spaces that connect with the bed and the wardrobe and the bathroom so that we can socially interact more with our partners and loved ones.
So this bigger bathroom then, what does it look like in terms of what you see, and why is it big?
Well, I think we're wanting larger showers. We want showers that are, you know, in some cases 12 to 1800 long by a metre wide. We want to feel, you know, when we're rejuvenating, we want to feel like we're getting that rather than being in a small sort of pokey box. And it's not necessarily a bigger space, but sometimes they're just more longer, narrower, so that we can feed everything on one side. And, you know, toilets that are concealed, basins that are floated, joinery that's hidden away, you know, so that they feel more open.
What's driving this?
Definitely clients, definitely people's desires to have things that look better, that make them feel better, you know. So I think that's really the drive behind it. So as far as the form and the function of it, it's definitely people.
And big spaces like that sounds as if you can get one or two people in a bathroom at the same time.
Yeah, I love the idea of that. I love the idea of a parents' retreat. I have one myself. It's really nice to be able to engage with my whole family, especially at that time, witching hour at night where the kids are around. It's, you know, it's nice to all be engaged in that space. They're bathing, we're talking. You know, you're either putting the clothes away, really utilitarian type, but it's all there. It's, you know, you can communicate, you can talk about your day, and you're not sort of closed off and feeling closed down. You know, so I think it's a wonderful concept.
So what makes Australians different as far as bathrooms are concerned?
We're a hard marketplace, Australia. We really want good quality products. We really push to get things done right. You know, just look at our waterproofing and the things that we do where it's not done in other countries. So we really drive that. We like to have spaces that are getting bigger, and, you know, we can share that. So I think it's really unique in the world's climate of design.
Climate change and the need to conserve water has been driving bathroom design for some time. How's that looking now?
I think it has become, you know, faddy or trendy, I suppose, to look at it. But I think that, you know, especially in a country like Australia, we're an isolated island and we do have a limited water supply. So now with WELS labelling and products, you know, things we're creating and pushing, we're pushing people to use 4 litres a minute. So it's, you know, you can get products that are more stylish, you know, more refined, and, you know, at the end of the day, you're doing your part for the environment, you know.
And one of them's these basins. Now they're amazingly kind of, they're not very deep.
Yeah,
well, they're flat practically. That's right. Talk to me about these.
Okay, we first created this product around 10 years ago. So we had a client, they wanted something for a space that was going to be visible. They wanted something that was really different. So we wanted to create something that was flat. Therefore, we had to figure out how do we stop water from splashing. So we developed a system, and our system is that we use this particular length of spout, we have a particular height and a particular flow. When all of those elements are brought together, you won't splash, because what happens when you slow water down and it becomes slower, it'll actually hit a flat surface and it'll conform to that shape. Traditionally at 30 litres a minute, when water hits a surface, it only does one thing, and it goes like that. But when you slow water down and it's really slow and soft, it'll hit my hand and it'll go flat. It'll hit my hand and it'll go around it. So you won't get the same element of splashing. In this case, we've got 1800 long basin and it's all completely integrated and seamless. So the water gets contained to the area and it's just effortless to look after. So,
and talking of flat as well, these are really rather neat. It seems to me people are liking to hide their toot.
Yeah, the shaving cupboard's made a real resurgence. It's almost a buzzword all over again. But we love the idea of it, but we hate the lines that shaving cupboards bring. So traditionally, we'll install our basins and you'll have your shaving cupboard with 400 or 500 millimetre doors, which traditionally puts a join directly above the bowl. So we've developed this cabinet here, which is a 900 wide door, to eliminate those lines, still get the convenience of the shaving cupboard, but then get the scenario where we get the cupboards into the wall. Yeah, so they'll lift up, and then we've got all of our glass inside. We've got a handle on the back of the door, and it's got a braking system, so it'll brake wherever we let go, and then soft close.
And good for getting close to it and doing your makeup.
Well, the theory behind it is with everything that we do, we don't like to fill the bottom with joinery because it's impractical and you're spending a lot of money to hide plumbing. We expose that, we'd be really honest with it, and we conceal at the top. So the idea is, in this case, if my bowl's here, you want your joinery to be offset, so that if I'm functioning in this space, I'm accessing my storage on this side, and vice versa. So that way there's no real way that I'm getting in my partner's way at any time.
A bit of nifty colour here. How does colour in bathrooms and trends? What's happening?
Oh, I think there's a trend or a shift where people are thinking wellness, and wellness comes from the day spa scenario where we go and we've got natural products surrounding us, we've got mood lighting, we've got soft music, and we've got colour. So by applying colour, you know, we all know that the different value of colour, what it can do to our psyche. So we can in this case change that up depending on how we're feeling and what mood we're in. We can also set that to be on just a slow colour rotate. You know, so you're seeing this happen now in shower heads and, you know, the whole colour therapy scenario. So it's, you know, things like that are playing part. I think lighting in general plays a massive part in bathrooms, having things that are multi-layered and multi-switchable so that we can control our moods rather than it being, you know, traditionally you walk into a bathroom, you turn the light on, it's all bright, you know, so now we can control those elements. So in the morning when we want it to be bright, we can brighten it up, but at night time, when we want to come down and chill out, we can do that, you know.
Nice one. So, and look, if you're renovating to sell a house, you're renovating your bathroom.
Yes.
Do you throw trends out of the window and just go for, you know, bland?
No, look, I think if you're doing it for sale, you've just got to be neutral about your choice. You've got to remember you don't want anything where people are going to come in and go, I hate that. So it's just got to be quite neutral and appealing, you know. At the same time, you've got to attract people's attention, and in a market that's busy at the moment, I think you've got to do things a little different, you know, be a little bold, and the bold doesn't have to be red or green or whatever, but bold might be the way that you put something together, you know, be a little bit different to what's on the market and not so generic.
And one last design tip. Yeah. What's the kind of must-do thing that you must take into account when you're renovating your bathroom?
Think about things. That's probably what I would say, and employ people to help you do that. You know, so I would say to you, really set up a brief of what you want out of the space, and then really just engage someone to assist with that. You know, but just make sure you go through that, and the more thought you put in at the front, the better the result will be at the back. You know, and as designers, we're here to engage with you, to interpret those needs, answer those questions, and solve the problem. So that's all you can do.
Darren Jenner from Minosa Designs, bathroom designer extraordinaire. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.